Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei trained in time capsule and becomes the heir of Son Goku Part 3. Before we start, please go support Ultimate-REBORN for writing that awesome fanfic. Now let's begin. This is the translated version I made. There will be some wrong he or she calling here because it's translated, so let me clear this. Issei is a male in this story. Chapter 8. Issei's new familiar. It had already been 1 hour since the fight resumed. Shock waves were produced everywhere. Both Ignia and Issei gave their best blows. Of course, according to Ignia, Issei did not hold back, but the reality it was very different. Issei. Hahaha, this is really fun, he said it while he dodged some punches and kicks and flew in the direction of the Dragon Queen. Ignia. We think the same, Hyoudou-kun. This is really exciting. This one took distance to copy the chestnut tree and fly towards him. Both ended with a strong blow to the face of each one that caused an immense shock wave that shook several mountains. Both took distance. Ignia. Impressive. Yo, you are very powerful. A common demon would have been defeated with that blow, but you are different, she gave the brunette a smile. Issei. I say the same, cracking his neck. You are powerful. If I didn't have this armor on, I would have kissed the ground without hesitation. You really are incredible. Too strong. He. A short silence filled the place while the air could be heard passing by. Ignia. Hey. What's with so much praise? It's embarrassing. This one had a slight blush, although she was strong and proud, she never received. I complimented her strength, which awakened new emotions in her. Issei noticed that. Issei. Huh. What happens? She has a red face. Does she have a fever? He should stop the fight. He was worried seeing the girl's red face. Greg. Tell me you're making a joke, don't you realize? Issei. Huh. About what? Do you know what's wrong with him? Greg. Forget it, keep fighting, she's fine. Ignia. Whatever she is, she composes with difficulty. Those flattery won't make her go easy on you. She put on a defiant smile. Issei. I wasn't saying it for that reason, I was just telling the truth. I hope you give me your best attack. He had a defiant smile through his armor. Ignia positioned herself on a gigantic rock looking down at the chestnut tree. Ignia. Well, if that's what you want, Hyoudou-kun. Well, that's what you'll have. A red dragon aura surrounded the beautiful Dragon Queen. This one she took out a spear with demonic touches. Issei. Here it comes. But I'm not far behind. Two huge cannons begin to emerge from the armor. The Dragon Queen began to gather energy into her spear, creating a small red sphere that grew in size every time, and her aura came out burningly to the outside, while her eyes shone in an intense red, while the securite, more precise in its two cannons, began. Small red spheres formed in each cannon. These spheres were so small that they could barely be seen with the common eye. Ignia. Huh. Seeing the two small spheres in the cannons, what's wrong, Hyoudou-kun? Are you already tired? Laughing mockingly at the Saiyan's supposed situation. Issei. Giggles. You should worry more about what is going to happen to you, Ignia-chan. Greg. Partner, you know that you should restrain yourself, otherwise you could kill her, you know that, right? Issei. I know, partner, right now I'm holding back as much as I can. Or else the surrounding creatures will also be hurt, and I don't want that. This one was trying extremely hard so as not to use more power than you should. What they both didn't know is that the Dragon Queen had heard that little talk with her super developed ears. Ignia. What? In shock. It can't be. All this time he's been holding back. Impossible. How powerful is? She couldn't believe what she had heard. For the first time, the Dragon Queen of Fiery Destruction felt a chill run through her body. Ignia. No. Impossible. Not possible. Hyoudou-kun, I think it's time to finish this. With this last blow. She put all her power in the spear, ready to give everything in that blow. Issei. I couldn't agree more. We must finish now, otherwise the forest will be greatly affected and the creatures of the place will be hurt if we continue. Boost, 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 boost. Ignia. I one destructive wave of the dragon goddess. She just launched her attack that looked like a gigantic Kamehameha. The Saiyan saw how the attack was directed at him and only said one thing. Issei. Ignia-chan, thanks for the fight, it was entertaining. Now Crimson Blaster. Cardinal Crimson Sonic Blaster. The two small lights of the cannon shot out in the form of powerful Omega Blasters that collided with Ignia's attack, but in 5 seconds the Dragon Queen's attack was destroyed and the cannon continued its direction towards the Dragon Queen, who was in total shock. Ignia. But what? Seeing how the cannon was shooting towards her. Oh no, I won't come out of that unscathed. She closes her eyes while putting her two arms in both. Ignia. But what are you doing? She did not believe what her eyes captured. Issei. Apparently I overdid it. The attack reached both of them, but Issei with a kick deflected his own attack towards the sky, where only an apocalyptic explosion was seen that resembled the legendary Hiroshima bomb, leaving the Dragon Queen in total amazement. Issei. Almost giving a sigh. Are you okay? Seeing the Dragon Queen. Ignia. With one kick, why yes, thank you. But breathing heavily I spent all my energy. In that blow. She begins to fall, closing her eyes ready for the impact. She was too exhausted from spending all her energy, but then she feels how her speed in the fall begins to decrease. When she opens her eyes she sees the security carrying her as they gently lowered themselves to the ground. Ignia. Why? She is left on the ground by the Saiyan. She just looked at him without understanding the reason for such an act. Issei. Why? Easy, she could let you hit the ground. This one was said between laughs. She was impressed, he still cared about the state of her opponents. This boy was someone special, he was the only thing she thought in her head. After remembering how she was saved, she blushed slightly as she looked at another side to avoid being seen. Ignia. I want to ask you a question. This is compost. Issei. Yes. Ignia. A moment ago. Were you fighting with all your power? He just kept silent and induced her thoughts. If he lied she would not forgive him, so he had no other choice. Issei. Sigh. The truth is. No. I've been holding back, sorry. Ignia. I see. I'm glad you were honest. She kept her gaze calm. I accept my defeat with pride. I know when I should stop in a fight that I can't win. Issei. Aren't you upset? Ignia. The truth is no. I'm just a little frustrated by my defeat. She said this with a sigh. Now if it's not a bother. I would like to see the face of the being who defeated me. Issei. Huh? Didn't you see me? Ignia. Not really, I just felt a nearby power and fired the flare without even seeing you. This one said it with nervous giggles. Issei. Well. Ignia. Don't worry, even if you are ugly or have my respect for your victory. Issei. Okay. This illuminated in a great red light, the armor disappearing, showing the Saiyan, leaving the Dragon Queen more than impressed. Issei. Nice to meet you, I'm Hyoudou Issei, but you can only call me Issei. It's a pleasure, and I hope we can be friends. He showed the smile he inherited from the great son Goku, warming the Dragon Queen's heart to more than 1,000. Ignia. God, it can't be, he is too handsome, that body, those arms and muscles, those hairs that defy gravity, that childish smile that makes him very cute. He must be too good for it to be true. Such a man can exist. If that must be, I must be dreaming. Issei. This. Ignia-chan. Ignia. No, I must be dreaming. This one of hers launches a power above her that within seconds falls on top of her, creating a small explosion, leaving the Saiyan more than confused. Issei. But what was that? This one didn't understand a damn. When the smoke clears. Ignia. What happened? She said it, compassing herself. Issei. You tell me, you threw a power on yourself for no reason. Ignia. Huh? Seeing the Saiyan in front of him. Aren't you a dream? Issei. Huh? A dream? Of course not, haha, but what are you saying? I'm real. Ignia. Oh, she touches the Saiyan's cheeks with her hands. You are real, you are a dream made man, you have the perfect body. She said it by lowering her hands to the Saiyan's pectorals with a sensual look. Issei. Thank you. He felt nervous when he felt the Dragon Queen's hands touching her body. Greg. Hey Ignia, your eyes will pop out from seeing so much down there. He said it with a look at his dragon companion, shamelessly seeing the Saiyan's private area. When she heard that voice she reacted. Ignia. It's been a long time, Dreg. I see that you were sealed by God in a sacred gear. He said it with a laugh, looking at the gauntlet. Dreg. I wasn't the only one, Albion had the same fate as me. Ignia. Yes, I know that, when I see it I will laugh at it too. Dreg. Going to something more serious. Ignia. Why are you alive? You are supposed to have died in that war. Ignia. Well. Deep sigh for Tannen, Tiamat, Vritra, Albion, Yulong and the others. I almost died that day, but I was able to survive, although on the verge of death. I was able to escape from that battle, and so I found this place. The guardian of this forest let me stay since he said that it was an honor to have one of the Dragon Kings here. I like this place so much that I decided to stay here in the forest of the relatives. He finally said it, surprising the Welsh dragon and Issei, who was listening in silence. Dreg. And why didn't you return with the other dragons? Ignia. Because she. She didn't want to be one of the Dragon Kings anymore. She said it with a sigh. Dreg. Huh? And because? Ignia. Why? It was obvious I was bored, listening to boring things about how to preserve the dragon's territories, things about what it is to be a true dragon, the responsibility of making sure everything is calm. Damn, I always wanted to sleep when they said those boring things. She just spit it out, taking one out of the dragon and the bearer of it. Dreg. You know that Tiamat will want to kill you if he sees you, right? I don't want to see his face when he discovers that his best friend is alive, and she didn't go to tell him, but she stayed hidden for more than a century. Ignia. At some point I will appear before her and tell her everything. Issei. Well. It was a good fight, Ignia-chan, but I have to go now. She said it while stretching. Ignia. Issei, you will take responsibility, right? She said it with a sensual voice that confused the Saiyan. Issei. Huh? Responsible? He was confused by those words. Then he sees how the Dragon Queen begins to walk towards him, moving her hips very sensually, standing in front of the Saiyan. When he was going to say something, he was silenced by the girl's soft lips. She had planted a kiss on him, leaving him in total shock. Issei's warrior hormones take over him, and he reciprocates the kiss while with one hand he grabs the girl's waist, and with the other he grabs her thigh, making her moan a little with pleasure, while she hugs the Saiyan tightly. When they separate due to lack of air, both were joined by a thread of saliva. Issei. What was that? This one was totally confused. Ignia. Apparently Drake didn't tell you, she said it with a little giggles. Drake. Yes, you see partner, in our dragon culture, if a supernatural being from any faction manages to defeat a dragon in combat, he will earn his right to claim said dragon as his own. He said it without further ado, leaving its bearer in absolute shock. Issei. Excuse me? And why did you never tell me something like that? He seemed disconcerted before the dragon. Drake. Because I never thought something like this would happen to you in your life. Issei. Good point, he said it nonchalantly. Ignia. Then she did not take her seductive gaze off of her. Issei. Are you okay with being with someone like me? I don't deny it, you are very pretty and beautiful, in addition to being very strong, but will it be okay to be with me? He didn't want to force her. Ignia. Of course, I am hugging him territorially. I have never met someone like you, so kind, so handsome, who even cares about the state of his opponents, in addition to being powerful. You caught my attention with all this, Issei-kun, so I will say it without hesitation. I love you, and I want to be with you. This one tightened the hug. Issei gave a sigh and then smiled. Issei. Yes, that's right, taking her lovingly by the waist. Well, I accept your feelings, and I swear that I will love you and value you forever. Just like that, he gives her a tender kiss, which she gladly reciprocates, while she hugs the Saiyan tightly. Greg. First some demons and now a dragon, what will follow next? Only time will tell. After kissing for a while, they both separate due to lack of air. Issei. Well then, taking her hand, will you accompany me on my search? She asked with a big smile, making the beautiful red-haired dragon blush with her smile. Ignia. Ara, and what were you looking for? She was curious. Greg. My partner was looking for a suitable familiar for him. She was shocked, but then a smile formed. Ignia. In that case, Issei-kun, take me as your familiar. She showed an anxious smile. That left both bearer and dragon speechless. Drake. Are you sure, Ignia? Do you want to be my bearer's familiar? Ignia. Of course, Drake, besides now I'll be with Issei-kun, right? Issei. Well, that being the case, he gives him a smile. Your strength would be very useful for us, you will help us a lot if a threat appears. Without waiting any longer, Issei activates the magic circle to take Ignia as his familiar, and after that he says the words to claim her as his familiar, then Ignia is covered by a green glow, and is finally turned into the Saiyan's familiar. Issei. Well, I think that's all. Ignia. Yes, that's all. She hugs him. I hope you take care of me from now on, Issei-kun. Issei. It's a promise, Ignia-chan. Ignia. Can I ask a question? Issei. Of course you want to know. Ignia. Why do I perceive other smells on you? Issei. Well. Issei explains what happened and his fortunate situation. Ignia. Ah, I see, so I'm not the only one, huh? I didn't expect this, but of course, with such a man, it would be absurd if he didn't have a harem. Well, as long as you love me there's no problem, right? Issei. Thanks for understanding, and don't worry, I don't have favorites, I love them all equally. Ignia. I know, I can see it in your eyes. Greg. Well, the familiar matter is settled, so without further ado I'm going to sleep, see you around. Thus the gauntlet disappears. Issei. He's lazy. Ignia. It was always like this, giving a sigh. In this way Issei returned with Ignia where Zataoji was, who was extremely surprised that the dragon queen of the igneous destruction is the familiar of the Saiyan. It was an achievement that is almost never seen. Once this is done they both go to the Hyoudou house with teleportation, a technique that surprised Ignia, since she did not feel any magic, but she did not give it importance. Already in the Hyoudou house. Issei. Huh. How strange, the lights were off. Is there anyone here? Rias. Welcome, Issei. Akeno. Welcome, Issei-kun. The Saiyan turns his gaze seeing Rias and Akeno, who had a smile at seeing his man. Issei. Girls, what are you doing here? This one was curious. Rias. Well, after being rescued by you, I made the decision to live with you. Akeno will also live here with us. Issei. Huh. And because? This one was impressed. Akeno. It's obvious, Issei-kun, we want to be closer to you. Fufu. Issei. That being the case, then go ahead. He smiles. Besides, I've always felt somewhat alone here. Rias. You won't be alone anymore, Issei. Akeno. You won't be alone anymore, Issei-kun. Both hugged the Saiyan with affection, while he only gladly reciprocated. Rias. By the way, were you able to get your familiar? Issei. Well, yes, I got it. Akeno. Ara, congratulations my Issei-kun, can we see it? This one was interesting. Issei. Well. Rias. Please, I want to see it too. Issei. Well, then, if you want to see it. Issei moves away from the girls, standing next to a door. He extends a hand towards the door, confusing both girls, but then they see how a hand intertwined with Issei's, thus he makes the beautiful dragon queen enter. Which impacts both crashes. Ignia. A pleasure, Princess Gremory, priestess of lightning, I am Ignia, Issei-kun's familiar. She was telling lies. She hugged Issei, who only laughed nervously. An uncomfortable silence formed in the place. Later in the room, you could see the four gathered and changed into formal clothes. Rias. This is indeed a surprise. Issei. Haha, well yes right. This one was very nervous. Bekeno. I propose to you today. And today you bring another girl. Issei-kun, I'm really shocked. Issei. Come on girls, don't look at me like that, it makes me nervous, things happen for a reason. While Ignia watched everything, she sat on one of the pieces of furniture in the room, analyzing everything. Ignia. Oh, so this is what you call a love argument. Interesting, very interesting, humans have unique features. She looked at everything with great attention. Rias. But to think that your family member is one of the Dragon Kings is something you don't see every day. Well, no problem, she is welcome. She showed a smile. Ignia. That being the case, getting up from the couch, I hope we get along well. Rias, Akeno. She extended her hand, to which they both accepted the gesture without problems, getting along immediately. Akeno. Ara, the two of you must be starving, come to the table, we'll take care of cooking dinner. Saiyan and Dragon were excited, and all four of them went to the dining room to have dinner. The Saiyan and Dragon ate like wild beasts, devouring plates over and over again, leaving a pile of plates. Rias and Akeno were not very impressed, since they knew that Issei will also inherit the Son Goku's voracious hunger, so they prepared a lot of food. Although Issei was obviously far ahead of the Dragon Queen when it came to eating, once everyone had eaten, each one took a bath, and then they prepared to go to sleep. The girls asked if they could sleep with him, to which he accepted without problem. After a while, the three girls were asleep, but Issei was still awake. He watched them sleep with a smile. Issei. They look so cute sleeping, I swear I will keep their smiles forever, protect them no matter what, I promise. Wait, where is Akeno-san? Akeno. Fufufu, here I am. Issei-kun. Issei. Fen, seeing the black-haired girl on top of him, I thought you were already asleep. Akeno. Well, I wanted to keep this position. She lies down on his well-formed chest. Issei-kun, what you said now, it's very nice of you, thank you for accepting me, I love you. Giving him a tender kiss that he reciprocates. Good night sweetheart, I will sleep here on your chest. Issei. Good night Akeno-san, I love you too. Yawning, well, I'll go to sleep too, tomorrow is another day. I'm sorry, what exciting things await me from now on. I'm eager to discover them. And without further ado the Saiyan falls asleep, with the girls ending another day. Special 01 The Cardinal Crimson Promotion. After that crazy night that the Saiyan and the Redeed had, our former brunette and now black-haired man with messy hair slept peacefully next to his Redeed. Well, he had one of the greatest dreams of his entire life. Issei. Oh yes, more, this is delicious. Oh ugh, I can still give more. Come on, I have resistance for more. Oh yes, this is delicious. Note. Who the hell dreams that they are eating? That's why Goku is what he is and we all like him, and now his heir has those qualities. Let's continue. Issei. I want more please, can I eat more? Maid. Of course, you can eat as much as you want, you just wait handsome. She went to see more plates full of food to the taste of the Saiyan, who began with his food genocide. No dish was saved from the massacre that the Saiyan made with each plate. He seemed like a real animal due to his lack of manners, but for the maids was something else. Maid. She's a cutie. Issei. Kipasa. Do I have afbo in this tasting? She said it speaking in the sacred dialect of the full mouth, which very few could speak in that ancient and mystical language. Maid. Fufufu, no, nothing happens. It's a dream come true. Note. The Saiyan was eating peacefully in his ideal world, but suddenly everything became dark, confusing the disheveled hair, and in seconds strong flames covered the entire place, making the Saiyan sigh at being interrupted from his paradise. Dreg. Hello partner, I'm sorry to interrupt your sweet dreams. Issei. Dreg. What's happening? You interrupted me when I was eating that zebra leg. Dreg. Well I'm sorry about that, but I need you to come with me, it's important. He had a serious look. Issei. Yes, you say so. Well, since he let out a sigh. At that moment, a gigantic door appears in front of Issei, surprising the Saiyan a little. This curious man decides to enter through the door, and when he does so, he sees a large number of people sitting with their eyes downwards, and their faces were covered by hoods, which made him. What was surprising was that each and every one of them, without exception, gave off a very great depressive aura, which made him become serious. Issei. Dreg, what is this place? He didn't take his eyes off the people. Dreg. These partners are the ancient bearers of the Red Emperor Dragon, the ancient consciousnesses of the ancient security of each past era. Issei. I understand, but why are they like this? I can feel the desire to stop living in them, they only long for death and patiently wait for that day. That is not normal. Reg. Well, in their times, on some occasion of desperation for not defeating their opponents, they resorted to the juggernaut drive to win. However, by not controlling that immense power, they ended up destroying their own bodies and also their loved ones. Unconsciously, and that has put them as you see them now. It is really sad. The dragon showed empathy in his words. Issei. The juggernaut drive. It's true, you told me about that ability once. How dangerous is that ability? They must have had something or beings important to them in their times. He puts a hand on his chest. I who will awaken, I am the celestial dragon that steals the principles of God's domination. Dreg. Partner waits. Issei. Don't worry Dreg, I can control it, he said it with a smile. Dreg was not convinced, but he let him continue. He made fun of infinity, and I worry about sleep. The very heavy red aura began to surround the Saiyan, and it became bigger every time. Issei. I will become the red dragon of domination. Issei's form begins to change, becoming larger, but it was not the Azeru. Issei. And I will drown them in the depths of scarlet purgatory. Dreg. Juggernaut drive. A gigantic red dragon appeared after the explosion, while everyone present showed a dark and at the same time somewhat sad smile. Consciences. That's it, destroy everything, become the absolute tyrant, show the power of the red dragon of domination, eliminate everyone who is in your way. They kept sending negative messages to the dragon until Issei JDE. Silence, shut the fuck up. The Saiyan sent out a powerful roar that silenced everyone immediately. Everyone remains silent and the Saiyan returns to his normal form. Issei. Now I understand, that form releases the power that Dreg had when he possessed his body while he was alive, but that form is dangerous if you do not free yourself from the negative emotions of the old consciousnesses of the bearers before me. Note. Don't screw around, Issei thinking with Goku's body. Now it really exceeded the expectations of everyone who reads this fic. Well done Issei, well done. Issei without further ado decides to leave the room, staying in a completely white place, something that did not attract much attention. Dreg. However, I am surprised that you were able to use the form without losing your mind, partner. Well, considering your power, it is more than obvious that not only is your body strong, your mind is also strong. Issei. Even so, I couldn't understand the dialect of transformation. What does it mean to mock the infinite? And worry about sleep? None of that makes sense to me. No matter how much I think about this issue, I can't find meaning, which leads to only one conclusion. Dreg. Which is it? Issei. Well, I don't even know, haha. What do we do, Dreg? Dreg. Huh. Yufufu, you really are very special today, Security. Echoing your previous question, Office is who really is the infinite, and Great Red is the illusion and the dream. However, you feel melancholy for your red dragon companion, Great Red. The voice caught the attention of the Saiyan, who turned around and saw a beautiful blonde woman who looked into the Saiyan's eyes. And smiled at him in a flirtatious way. Dreg. Oh Elsha, the dragon spoke wistfully. Elsha. Hello Dreg, it's been a long time. She greeted the Welsh dragon wistfully. Note. In case you haven't noticed, when Issei entered through the door, Dreg's voice could be heard throughout the place, and when the Saiyan came out of the room again, he reappeared in his dragon form. With this explained, let's continue. Dreg. Partner, this is Elsha, she was one of the best to wield the power of the Security. Issei. Oh I see, it's a pleasure Elsha-chan. The Saiyan showed the deadly smile of his heart killer. And she was not the exception, she was captivated by the Saiyan's smile. Elsha. You are such a sweetheart, the girls out there must be lucky, how I would like to be alive to spend some time getting to know you. Issei. It's not that big of a deal but I have another question. Office. Great Red. Dreg. They are the most powerful beings that exist, mate. Office is known as the Dragon of Infinity, feared by everyone even God, and Great Red is the most powerful dragon that exists, leaving Office in second place, also known as the Dragon of Dragons or DXD. Issei. Oh I see, they are the strongest of the dragons, huh? Anyway, Elsha-san, what brings you here? Elsha. Well, I wanted to meet the most powerful Security in all of history, and look what I found, you're even the most handsome in all of history. Fufufu. Issei. Just that. Elsha. Well, also because I wanted to check if you were capable enough to destroy Dreg's curse. Issei. Yes, you mean unlocking Dreg's original power that was sealed in the sacred gear. Yes, I can. He said it like it was no big deal. That caused astonishment in both the woman and the dragon. Dreg. And if you could do it, why didn't you do it? Issei. Because I thought that at this point that didn't mean anything to you anymore. An overwhelming silence covers the entire place, and the Saiyan is pulled face first into the ground, courtesy of a Welsh dragon who was beyond angry. Dreg. Idiot, of course it means a lot to me. Issei. Okay, getting up from the ground if you want that, then, there it is. The Saiyan raises a hand, and a great power covers the entire place, creating a small tremor, then a gigantic magical seal appears that is larger than Dreg's eyes, and within seconds this seal is destroyed into piles of pieces. That's when the change happens. Dreg. I can feel it, yeah, I can feel it, it's my original power, it feels nostalgic after a long time, the power I used having my body when I crushed the idiot Blanco. He was extremely happy to feel his power increase to colossal levels. That greatly amazed the beautiful Elsha. She had no words to describe what she had just seen. That boy very easily destroyed the seal that imprisoned the seal of Dreg's power. Now he was free and could use his original power again. This called the attention of the blonde towards the Saiyan. Issei. There you have it, he said it, putting his hands behind his head. Note. What Issei did is unlock those different forms of armor when he faces Gokú in High School DxD Hero. Without further ado, let's continue. Elha. Apparently he won't need this at all, so she had a small box in her delicate hands, but after witnessing what happened the box disappears while she had a smile. Dreg. Thank you partner, thank you for unlocking my ancient and greatest powers, you could hear joy in his voice. Issei. You're welcome friend, that's what we're here for. Elsha. You really are amazing Issei-kun, I would like to know more about you, would I come to visit you should you visit this place? I feel somewhat alone. Issei. Of course yes Elsha-chan, you're my friend now he showed a big smile at the beautiful blonde. Elsha. I'm glad to hear that Issei-kun she had a small blush at the Saiyan smile, it's time to go, but first, your gift for forging a new friendship between us. At that she gives a sweet kiss on the lips to the disheveled hair, who had a look of astonishment, while even his lips were desecrated by the beautiful blonde, while the spectator Dreg saw this with a smile, since he knew that something like this would happen, and Elsha separates, waving goodbye as she disappears from the side of the Saiyan who was still in shock. Issei. Was the kiss necessary? He asked this out of nowhere. Dreg. Partner. Don't ask, just enjoy it, he smiled at the Saiyan with his enormous teeth. Issei. Yes, you say so, but well, now. And that. At that, the Saiyan is covered in a huge red light that, when it dissipates, shows the following. Dreg. That's I understand now. Issei. Apparently you know this right Dreg. He said it while examining his new armor. Dreg. Yes I know partner, but you know what? I'll tell you another time because now I just want to sleep, he said it with a yawn. Issei. Well, if that's the case, you can explain it to me when I wake up, see you, I'll go back to mine. Thus the Saiyan leaves the sacred gear, returning to its activity. Issei. This is delicious. And so the Saiyan enjoyed his dream all night. Chapter 9 Goodbye Asia, my true form. It was an ordinary day where the sun was beginning to rise, 3 women and a Saiyan were sleeping peacefully, the Saiyan had a cozy dream. Or so it seems. In the dream you can see a pink-haired man with a strange mark on his right arm and a scarf around his neck, who was doing different training techniques with fire that came out of his hands. He was concentrated until he heard some snoring. Natsu. Hey, what's that noise? He lowers his gaze, seeing a man with wild hair and a monkey's tail out of sleep, snoring peacefully. Hey man, hey, stop snoring. What he got in response was a louder snore than the previous one. Natsu. Oh yeah. He sees the Saiyan's crotch and smiles darkly. Snore with his fire dragon roar. The flames surpass the dream and without further ado. Issei. He shoots out of the bed, falling to the floor while shaking his pride in fear, but the impact of the fall suddenly wakes up 2 girls. Rias. What happened? This was disturbed by the noise. Akeno. Ara, what was that noise? Issei. My pride is burning, I scream, this one upset, shaking you know where, forgetting that it was a dream. Rias. What? I look everywhere, I don't see anything that's on fire. Akeno. Ara, you must have dreamed it, Issei-kun. 2 minutes later. The 3 of them stood up with a loud yawn, but Issei was angry. Issei. Fucking pink hair, you'll see tonight that I sleep again, thought while his eyes changed to emerald color. Rias. I hate that the night goes by so fast, she sighs. At that the 3 go to the bed seeing the dragon queen still asleep. Issei is Akeno. Yes, he is a deep sleeper. At that Issei realizes something. Issei. Stop. What happened to my house? After a few minutes, Rias tells the Saiyan that she wanted to give more space and comfort to her home, courtesy of the Ritide's parents, to which the Saiyan thanks him for the exaggerated gesture, then the Saiyan wakes up the dragon queen and so on. Another day begins, Rias and Ignia decide to take a bath together in a super tub in the new remodeled house. Rias. Oh, I understand, that's why you pretended to be dead all this time. It must be difficult to be a dragon king, it must be more tedious than being the heir of a demonic clan, but where did you get those kittens? Ignia. Oh, I found them while Issei was bringing me to meet you, I just kept them hidden. Thus both of them are left talking comfortably, now in the kitchen, Issei was heading to that place very excited. Issei. What will there be for breakfast? I'm dying of hunger. This one was impatient while he came out in boxers from one of the many showers in his new and remodeled house. He enters the kitchen and he is speechless from what he sees. Akeno. Ara Issei-kun, you will have to wait until I finish making your fufu breakfast while you enjoy the panorama in front of you. This one she was only wearing an apron, leaving the Saiyan static and speechless, and she was ogling the Saiyan who was only in boxers. Issei. Akeno-san, why are you only wearing an apron? The Saiyan asked with doubt. But his voice was beginning to become hoarse. Akeno. Ara, I just wanted to feel a little more comfortable cooking fufufu, or maybe. Issei-kun, don't you like what I'm wearing? This body that is in front of you, only you can see in its maximum splendor. And you can also touch. Her tone was too sensual towards the Saiyan. Issei. Note. Let's continue. Akeno. Well, Issei-kun, what do you want to eat? Soup. Rice. Or maybe, eat me. He said that last thing with the same sensual voice as a moment ago. She wanted to provoke the Saiyan with a joke, since she thought that he would not do the act, or maybe not for now. Those were the thoughts of the sexy black-haired woman, but. Issei. To you. Akeno. Excuse me. She said she is shocked by what she heard. Issei. I want to eat you. Attention Lemon 4K starts, so let's get started. Without waiting for anything, the Saiyan planted a passionate kiss on the black-haired girl, who was in shock while being kissed, since he was only doing it as a joke, but she instantly reciprocated by clinging to the Saiyan's neck while they were in a battle of languages in which surprisingly the priestess wins while they separated, leaving a thread of saliva. The black-haired woman sent her joke to the devil. Akeno. Fufufu, you won't defeat me so easily. Issei-kun. Fufufu, besides, I must thank you properly for healing my wounds that day, so, this is unnecessary, it's in the way, I better take it off to be more comfortable. This is her. She gently lowers her apron, leaving herself completely naked before the Saiyan, who was dominated by the Azaru inside her every second. Issei. Tough girl, huh? I like that, but. Are you sure? Here. In the kitchen. She said it while she grabbed the black-haired girl's breast with one hand, and with the other she grabbed and squeezed the priestess's cheek, causing her to moan, while the Saiyan smiled Goku Black style. Akeno. The feeling of being discovered by those two while we drown more and more in all the senses of lust gives me an excitement that you cannot imagine. I am not going to move from here. I want to eat that sexy body that you have right here. Furthermore, as one of the many songs by Romeo Santos says, an adventure is more fun if it smells of danger. She groped the Saiyan's toned pectorals and arms while she licked her lips, very hungry to see the dominant male body that was in front of her. Issei. I love you. He kissed her again while with his hands he lifted her up, holding her legs, and with his hands, he grabbed the Saiyan's neck while he wrapped his legs around the waist of the wild hair, and they kissed in a very dirty and erotic way. After a few moments of kissing, the Saiyan goes down to the black-haired girl. While he is there, he begins to bend down. Akeno. I want to see what you have hidden here. She is rubbing the Saiyan's boxer with her face, while he made some small grunts from the sensation this is also in the way. She pulls down the Saiyan's boxers, remaining speechless at what she saw in front of her. Akeno. Is this real? She was shocked by what she saw. So this is what Rias ate that night. Amazing. She licked her lips. Issei. Wait. How do you know that? This one was speechless. Akeno. Fufufu, please Issei-kun, do you think I believe that you guys only went to that place to chat and get along better? She said it while her hands began to caress the Saiyan's straight member, who let out some grunts at the touch of the black-haired girl. Rias already had her moment. Now it's my turn. That's how it is. She begins to suck the Saiyan's erect member. He felt how the black-haired girl was sucking his manhood, causing him an indescribable ecstasy. After 5 minutes, she began to put Issei Jr. between his breasts while sliding them up and down. Issei. Damn. Your Russa is better. Than Rias. After all. Your breasts are more. Few. Bigger than hers. He could barely speak while he was strangled in his manhood by the black-haired woman's breasts. Akeno. Fufufu, this is just beginning. Issei-kun. She is letting saliva fall in warrior pride as the intensity of the Russa increased. How about Issei-kun? Are you suffocating? Can you barely think? Is my way of doing it different from Rias? Let's go, tell me it. Issei. I'm close. Here it comes. I'm coming. Akeno, I'm coming. Before shooting, he sees how the black-haired girl in a quick act puts his penis in her mouth, so she receives all the Saiyan fury in her mouth. The Saiyan fired 5 powerful jets, while he felt how the priestess was sucking hard on his manhood, ready to not dropping anything, causing Issei's mind to go blank. Akeno. Fufufu, thank you for the breakfast. Issei-kun, it was delicious. He said it while he licked his lips, and some drops fell on his chest. Issei. My turn. In a quick movement, he picks up the black-haired woman and sits her on the dining room table while she spreads her legs. Akeno. It's a nice sight, right Issei-kun? With her hand she opened her vagina to give a better view to the male predator of her. Issei. Peach for breakfast. I love it. He began to gently lick the girl's intimacy, causing slight moans from her. Shortly afterward he increased the intensity, while now he began to suck the girl's intimacy forcefully, making her moan loudly, and with his hands he sank deeper. The head of the Saiyan in his privacy for a greater sensation. Akeno. Issei-kun, I am about to, I'm around, I'm coming goo. She lets out some loud moans while she came even with Issei's face in her privacy. She falls exhausted while arching her back a little. That's when she sees how the Saiyan stood in front of her, showing a Goku black style smile, which that caused excitement in the girl. Issei. As Dante Sparta says, it's showtime, she said it while she rubbed her manhood in the black-haired woman's vagina. Bekeno. Fufufu, come for me, Saiyan, she said it in a sensual tone, while she herself began to introduce the warrior's penis into her intimacy. The Saiyan, without much patience, thrusts his penis into the girl's vagina, causing a small scream of pain, while she clings to the Saiyan in a hug and tells him not to move for a while. After 15 seconds, the black-haired woman moves her hips as a sign that she could now move, so the Saiyan began to go gently, causing small moans in the black-haired girl, who as the minutes passed, he increased the speed, making her moan louder. He began to carry her while she clung to the Saiyan, who began to catch her standing. Bekeno. Issei-kun, you are very rude. Yo, you are amazing. You are destroying me inside. She buried her nails in the Saiyan's back while she moaned loudly and was fucked like a broken drawer. Issei. That's the point. I'm marking my territory. Yo, you belong. Paf, he gave a strong spank that caused the priestess to begin to lose her mind a little. Bekeno. Yes. From now on I'm all yours. So mark me all you want. Destroy my insides with that huge thing of yours. Just listen to how our flesh collide, well you fuck me like an animal. Don't even think about stopping now. Make me lose my mind. Issei. It will be a pleasure. He licks his neck. The Saiyan began to suck the black-haired girl's huge tits, while he continued to fuck her like a monkey in heat and was caressing his Saiyan's hair while he tried hard not to completely lose his sanity. Later 30 minutes. Issei. Akeno, I'm close. I'm very close. I'm coming. Akeno. Akeno. Inside, do it inside. Shoot all that load in my baby factory. Fill my insides with all your milk. She throws the Saiyan to the floor and climbs on top of him to prevent him from coming outside. Issei. Damn, here I go, I'm coming. Akeno. I'm coming. Akeno. Yeah, it's a lot. The girl falls on the hard chest of the Saiyan while she smiled, agitated and satisfied. Akeno. That was incredible. She was groping the Saiyan's pectorals with the little strength she had. Issei. It's true, you showed me heaven even though you were alive. He laughed Goku style. Akeno. Fufufu, do we demons go to heaven? Issei-kun. He laughed at what the Saiyan said anyway. How about we take a bath together? And also. This one approaches his ear. Do we have a second round in the shower? This one said it in a sensual tone to the Saiyan. Or do you want me to finish making breakfast? Issei. That can wait. Let's rock baby still naked. He picks her up princess style and takes her to one of the many bathrooms in his new house while the priestess hugged him lovingly and prepared for what was to come. End of Lemon 4K. The Saiyan, as he walked, he was relieved that none of the other two girls had discovered them. Now the kitchen was empty. Or so he thought. Rias. Wow, entering the kitchen, those two didn't hold back. They looked like monkeys in heat while they fucked. Issei was so focused on Akeno that he didn't even notice my presence. He didn't realize that he was behind the door watching everything. I didn't intervene because I still haven't recovered from what happened. At night on the beach, she said it in a jealous tone while she gave a long sigh. Anyway, those two didn't realize the mess they made here. She approached the kitchen floor as she crouched down and saw the mixing of Issei and Akeno's fluids. Rias. Damn. What a strong smell. Her breathing began to become labored. Her lover's perversion began to come out. They are shameless filth. Doing it in the kitchen. It so anti-moral. He started touching the fluids of both of them on the floor. With one finger they must learn. To be polite. They are animals without control. She without realizing it puts her finger in her mouth. So Akeno tastes like that, huh? Not bad. But what? She realizes what she did, but what's wrong with me? I didn't used to be like this. Get a grip. Rias. I better clean up this and go out to the garden to get some air. That will calm my mind. She sighs, gets up from the place and does a cleaning spell, leaving the place intact and clean, so she leaves the place while trying to calm her new depraved emotions. After an hour everyone was having breakfast peacefully in the dining room. Ignia. Sorry, after taking that bath I went back to the room to sleep. It's a habit of mine that I have, he said, laughing nervously. Issei. So that's why she didn't notice, huh? What a relief. This was said in her thoughts while she ate like a beast. Rias. I was on the roof breathing the fresh morning air. It's very relaxing for me, she said. She's obviously lying. Akeno. Well, this morning was very happy and lively for me. Too lively. Fufufu. Rias. Good for you. She looked at her, squinting at her best friend's lie, while the Dragon Queen believed it since she didn't know anything about it. A while ago. Issei. It's Saturday, but Asia, Kaneko-chan and Kiba must be at the club. How about we go there after eating? They all accepted while they finished breakfast. After a while everyone was in the occult club. The previous 3 girls were close to the Saiyan. Well, they gave kisses and caresses to the warrior. Kiba and Kaneko were playing chess calmly. But there was something strange about one girl. That's right, we're talking about Asia. She watched with jealousy the girls playing with the Saiyan's body. Well, he only laughed at the tickling that his first 3 girlfriends gave him. Asia. MHP Butchu-san is very affectionate with Issei-san just like Akeno-san and Ignia-san, but more so Butchu-san. Issei-san is not only yours, he is also mine. She began to frown. Sir Butchu. Rias. Huh. She was surprised because Asia called her, but with her voice raised. Asia. Why that voice with me? Asia. Issei-san is not just yours, and the same goes for the other 2. She got up from her seat with great anger. Well, the 3 girls were shocked. Well, Kiba and Kaneko ignored that. They did not want to get involved in that awkward moment. Issei. Huh. In shock. Asia. You too. Akeno. Ara, this is really unexpected. Fufufu. Ignia. I prefer to abstain from this conversation. Rias. But Asia, you are much younger than us, plus you still don't have what it takes to get Issei's attention. She was showing off her body to the blonde, which made her more upset. Asia. I know that but she clenched her fists. Issei swore at that moment that he saw in 1.5 seconds a small release of red energy coming out of the nun, but no one else noticed. Rias. But. She smiled proudly. Asia. But. She is getting angrier and angrier. Rias. Dude. She smiled arrogantly. Asia. Reed, shut your mouth now, she screamed furiously while everyone was shocked by the nun's action, especially Issei and much more so the Reed. Rias was going to scold her for the previous action. They could mess with anything about her, but no one messed with her hair. But then she saw how the nun began to grab her head while giving a few small screams of pain. Issei. Asia. He picks her up princess style and takes her to the back of the club while the others followed the Saiyan. The good thing was that it's Saturday and there were no classes. Kaneko. But what's wrong with Asia senpai? She was worried as she watched the nun suffer loudly. Issei. Asia, what happens? He took her hands. Asia. Issei-san, my head hurts, please help me, she said this while she tried not to scream from the pain. At that point, a shower of many memories began to reach the blonde, which made the nun scream louder, worrying the Saiyan more. Rias. Asia, what's wrong with you? She said she was worried. Asia. Fertiti, she said she is angry. Everyone was speechless because of what came out of the blonde's mouth. Akeno. Ara, was that Italian? The black-haired woman was speechless. Kaneko. That was definitely Italian. Kiba. Awesome, Asia-san speaks Italian, this is new. Rias. But he insulted me, she said she is angry while she clenched her fists comically, and in Italian. She just had to insult me in Italian. She had a vein in her heart since for her Italian was one of the most beautiful languages in the human dialect, and being insulted in that language was a very big offense. Issei. Italian. He looked analytically at the blonde who was still suffering while she did not let go of his hands. There must be something in her head. I will see what it is about. He places a hand on the blonde's head while closing his eyes, thus establishing a mental connection. Within the blonde's mind, the Saiyan made an appearance while facing. He saw something that left him in shock. Issei. And that huge door that is protected by chains. Why is it here in Asia's head? This one was with his mouth open. At that, Issei sees that small cracks were beginning to form from that door reinforced by the chains, breaking it little by little, and fragments of blue light were beginning to emerge from the cracks. Dreg. Partner. Issei. Dreg, it's good to hear you, partner. Can you tell me what those blue lights are that come out of the cracks in that immense door? This one was desperate. Dreg. Partner, those lights are memories, he said this without further ado. Issei. Memories. Dreg. That's right, partner, they are memories from long before you met her. No, I can swear that even long before that, apparently she sealed her memories with an advanced sealing spell. Issei. What? That's absurd, she barely knows her sacred gear to heal her, and you're telling me that she cast an advanced memory sealing spell on herself. He didn't believe what he heard. Greg. Believe me, partner, it's the truth. Issei. Well, suppose I believe you, how do I make Asia recover all those memories? Greg. Very easy, partner, completely destroy that door, but I warn you, she will suffer much more while she remembers everything. Are you willing? Issei. A few moments of unbearable pain, it will only be a few moments. I'm sorry, Asia. But what I'm doing is for you. He puts himself in a fighting pose while he begins to concentrate Kai in one fist, so he gives a loud scream, and with his fist he hits the immense cracked seal door, which begins to dismember quickly, thus it is completely destroyed, leaving nothing left, and a lot of blue energy comes out of the rubble, so these energies rise to the heights. Issei. He's already there, giving a sigh. Greg. Well done, partner, you have destroyed the sealing spell. It is only a matter of moments for the nun to recover those sealed memories. I admit that I was also curious to know what is happening. But then they both hear heartbreaking screams from the nun who was suffering outside. Issei. I have to get out of Asia's mind and see how she is, he said worried. He disappears from the place. Outside, the Saiyan opens his eyes seeing the blonde crying in pain, while the others were very worried not knowing what to do. Rias. You finally react to say I've been talking to you all this time and you didn't respond. What about Asia? She was between worried and angry about the situation, worried about the blonde state and angry with the Saiyan because he did not respond to her while she called him. Issei. I'm sorry Rias, but at that time I wasn't here. I made a mental connection with Asia by going inside her mind. I already solved the problem. In a few moments she will stop screaming, he said without letting go of the nun's hand. Everyone was amazed by what the Saiyan said, so they listened to his words and waited while they continued listening to the blonde scream in pain, but little by little she calmed down until she fell unconscious, relieving everyone, especially the Saiyan. After 2 minutes of waiting, an inexplicable event occurs. The blonde's body begins to shine in a golden flash, leaving everyone blind. Once the glow goes away, everyone sees the girl again. Girl are left speechless by what they saw in front of them, and even more so the Saiyan who was holding her hand. Issei. Asia. Boo, but what happened to you? After the flash of light ends, instead of the nun, a beautiful blonde-haired girl appears who looked the same age as Rias and Akeno, but she was unconscious. Until she begins to wake up. What happened? She said this while she slowly opened her eyes. Issei. Asia. Are you okay? Everyone else was speechless because of what had happened to the nun. The girl, upon hearing that voice, opened her eyes wide, meeting the Saiyan's gaze, and it was obvious that he was worried about her. In addition to holding her hand in a sign of concern, she stares at him for 10 seconds without showing any expression. Issei felt nervous. He thought that the girl who was in front of him would hit him because of the way they were both. But. Issei, I love you, you have freed me, thank you so much. She jumps on top of the Saiyan who was impressed and. Rias. But what? Akeno. Ara, what an unexpected event. Fufufu. Ignia. No wonder, my darling is very handsome after all. Note. Ignia says honey to Issei, let's continue. Issei. What's going on here? Greg. You are forming a partner arsenal, and not precisely weapons. He the dragon laughed subtly so as not to be heard. The next morning. Now 4 people were sleeping peacefully in a large bed. The first to wake up was the Saiyan. Issei. Yawn. Yesterday was a day full of surprises, but hey, everything was for the best. It will take me some time to get used to it. Angiorno, my Saiyan, you tend to get up early, huh? Yawn. Issei. Oh, good morning Erika-chan, I'm sorry to wake you up. The beautiful blonde approaches the Saiyan. Erika. Irai circa only, I had already told you, no more honorific, she said. She is giving the Saiyan a tender touch on the nose. Issei. Sorry I just spent a day, I have to get used to it. Erika. You'll get used to it since you can do anything. Fufufu. Anyway, Issei. Would you help your Erika change clothes, would you? The Saiyan was going to speak but. Rias. Ahem, forcibly coughing. Have you been this active since early morning? First you come to live here, second you sleep in my bed, and now third you are seducing my Issei. You are a predator. Issei felt afraid to see that look. That look did not show joy, even though it seemed like it. Erika. I don't want to hear that from someone that night being on that beach alone with my Issei. She must have sent her manners to hell for indulging in lust with my Issei, she said. She is squinting as she looks at the redeed. Rias. She couldn't excuse herself. Issei. This one was in the same situation. Erika. I knew it. Fufufu, you should have screamed like a bitch in heat, she said. She was proud of her victory. Rias. You damn. She is clenching her fists. How dare you. Issei. Rias. He was scared when he saw the redeed's reaction. Rias. I can't stand it, I want Asia back. She was crying comically while the Saiyan gave her pats of encouragement on her back. And Akeno and Ignia were still asleep. Special 02 My name is Erika Blandelli. After seeing how the new blonde kissed Issei after opening her eyes, everyone was gathered in the club to listen to answers. Issei. Well, this one. Asia.can you tell me what happened to you? She said it seeing a blonde next to her hugging him affectionately. To begin with, love, Asia never existed. This one you see now is my true form, he said as he stood up and looked at everyone with a smile. Nice to meet you. Again, although now in my true form, my name is Erika Blandelli. I am of Italian origin by blood and bearer of 2 sacred gears. Rias. 2 sacred gears? Erika. Yes, one is the healing twilight healing that you know well, and the other is this one. She closes her eyes while extending a hand, and a red magic circle appeared in front of her. Cuore di Leone. At that she puts her hand in the mouth of the lion that came out of the circle and takes out an Italian-style sword that radiated great demonic power, leaving everyone speechless. The blonde's clothes also changed. Erika. This is my second sacred gear, the lion sword. Cuore di Leone. He said this with great pride. Akeno. Ara is awesome, she said. She was shocked to see a person with 2 sacred gears. Tiba. Wonderful, someone else with my fighting style, I can relate. Hineko. Imper.shio.nante. But she was eating sitting on the Saiyan's lap, but he didn't give it any importance. Ignia. Leon huh. A great beast to fear besides a dragon, plus the weapon suits you girl, I even feel like clashing powers with you. Erika. Actually Dragon Queen, I have a desire to try my sword on someone else. She narrowed her eyes as she looked at someone specific. Rias. Is that what I think it is? She narrowed her eyes as she stared at the blonde. Erika. Do you think I forgot what happened a while ago? Repeat. Rias. Oh you mean this? She approaches the Saiyan and gives him a kiss, making the blonde and Akeno a little angry. Erika. Fence.The demon with tomato hair already takes out her claws so quickly, huh? She had eye twitches because of anger. Rias. Okay, the peroxide blonde leaves decency aside, huh? She had a streak in her hair because of how the blonde insulted her hair. They both smiled sweetly at each other, while radiating their killer instincts accompanied by their red auras. Akeno. Ara, for the first time I feel that I should refrain from this. She took 2 steps back. Hineko. This is going to get ugly. She said this while she was hugging Issei. Ignia. This will be much better than the UFC. She said it while she was eating some popcorn from who knows where she got it. Tiba. I better get away. He stood next to Akeno. Issei. This is going to get ugly. They both only tell each other one thing. An apocalypse began. Erika. Fat. Rias. Ugly. Issei. Run. Very late since the entire building suffered a huge explosion, when the smoke cleared, those in the club were seen getting up while shaking off the dust. Issei. Hey they are fine. He said getting up. Akeno. Ara, my rear hurts she said rubbing her tail. Hineko. That was dangerous she said as she stood up. Tiba. Yes, I'm fine. Issei. Where are Rias and Erika? Fence. He sees them in the sky while they launched attacks. Rias. Stay still talking mustard. Erika. You stay still, ketchup with legs give me Hermes sandals. She takes a big jump thanks to a magic circle that appeared at her feet, reaching the Reed trying to stab her with a sword, but Rias narrowly manages to evade it. Rias. That's all. Issei middly. She tries to hit him with the power of destruction concentrated in her fist, but the blonde blocks it with her sword. Erika. Damn narrowly. Issei. Stop it he said, appearing in the middle of the two, surprising them either calm down or you won't sleep with me today. Upon hearing that, both of them decided to try to calm down as they went down to the ground, at the same time that the Saiyan came down behind them. After that everyone was in the rebuild club while they settled down again. Akeno. Ara, well Erika-san, can you tell us how you ended up sealed creating a false appearance? Erika. It was me who sealed myself she said she is surprising everyone. Tiba. And what was that because of Erika-san? Erika. Well, it was because The hero faction wanted me as one of them. Rias. The hero faction. She made a serious face. Issei. Hero faction. I don't understand. Tiba. Yes. Everyone except Issei looked at him with Meliodas style poker face faces. Tiba. If I understood the reference. Rias. Issei, you must understand that there are not only the 3 factions that I mentioned to you, there are also others, the hero faction is one of them she said she is looking at her lover. Issei. Okay and Erika-chan, why did that hero faction love you? Erika. It's because they felt 2 sacred gears inside me and wanted me in their group, whether by hook or by crook. The Saiyan frowned when he heard that. Erika. Well, I obviously refused since I did not want to belong to them, since then I was persecuted to be recruited into their faction, since they would not stop until they found me, I sealed myself with a very strong spell that took away almost all my magical reserves. But I managed to escape by creating Asia, thus I disappeared from the map for them, until my love freed me from the spell. This is her, she got on top of the Saiyan, planting a kiss on him under the jealous gazes of the others. Issei. Well, if that's really how you are, then there's no problem for me he gave a smile to the blonde who kissed him again, reciprocating the problem. Rias. Jealous and now what do I do? I was left without a bishop this one was trying to think of something. Erika. Don't worry she said, getting up from the Saiyan I still carry the bishop piece inside me. Rias. But, Erika. If you are worried that I will resign, remember that once the piece is placed there is no turning back unless the piece dies he said this calmly. Rias. Oh it's true. Club. Even though he was the king, he forgot that. Rias. Well walking towards the blonde welcome Erika. She extended her hand to her, she just looked at it for a few seconds and then gave a smile and reciprocated the gesture. Issei. Apparently everything is fixed he gave a big sigh. Erika. Well, I must go now she said she is starting to walk. Tiba. What's wrong Erika-san? The others also wanted to know. Erika. It's obvious Kiba-kun, I have to go get my things from the apartment, since from now on I'll live with my love too she said, smiling at the Saiyan, who remained static. Akeno. Ara, another fufu tenant this one frowned her eyebrows a little while she covered her mouth. Ignia. I already said that my love was not going to be denied. She did not give importance to the matter. Hineko. I feel left out. Rias. What? Hey wait. Her blonde closed the door in her face, not letting her talk about herself, making the redhead clench her fists in fury. Rias. You damned. So it was the blonde also moved to the Saiyan's house with the others. NOW today. Rias. I can't stand it. I want Asia back now. She was crying comically in bed, still naked while Issei patted her back encouragingly, while Akeno just laughed. She had already woken up. Erica. Don't be a crybaby redhead, she said as laughing a little at the situation. Ignia. Good morning, yawning. Did I miss something? Seeing the current situation. Akeno. Ara, it turns out that. After telling everything, the dragon just laughed. Well, Rias had calmed down, and so everyone got up to start another day. Since it was the weekend and there was no class, everyone was at home. Akeno and Ignia were watching a TV program called Victoria's Secret. Rias and Erica were playing chess. Apparently Erica was a prodigy in this game, making Rias smile with excitement. She already had a worthy rival in this game. While Issei was at the table from the dining room looking at something with great attention. Issei. The ultra-sacred water. This one had a small bottle that was the size of his hand. I never used this, it's part of the things that came to me in the capsule. Well, the time will come when he uses it, he keeps it in his red dogi. The Saiyan had his red dogi since he felt more comfortable with that. The Saiyan was going to be with the other girls, but in that case. Bam, the Saiyan falls to the ground on his knees. Rias. Issei. What's going on? She was alarmed, going with her lover. The others also noticed him, immediately going with him. Ignia. What's wrong with you, darling? She was worried. Akeno. Issei-kun, why did you collapse like that? Erica. Love, what's happening? She was hugging her love. Everyone wanted to know, but he just looked at the ground with total shock. Inside. Greg. Partner, did you feel it? Issei. A gigantic eye appeared out of nowhere. There are 3 more that are there too, but what's happening? What is going on with me? I feel like my blood is boiling, but not with anger, but rather the opposite. He felt great for having that reaction, and showed it with a smile. Greg. It is part of Son Goku's body. Your Saiyan blood boils with excitement at feeling enormous power, and the sensation increases when you feel that that power may be greater than yours. Your warrior blood asks you. No. Requires you to seek that power and fight against whoever is the owner of the power. Issei. Yes. Smiling black style. Yes, I need it. I need to fight with that power no matter what it costs me. Abroad. Erica. It seems that he has reconsidered. The girls were happy to hear that. Rias. Issei, are you okay? She was happy to see her Saiyan come to her senses. Issei. I am. She said it in a whisper. Akeno. Issei-kun. Issei. I am increasing voice. Erica. Love. At that, everyone saw how the Saiyan began to release rays from his body, while he showed a Goku black style smile, which confused everyone and even more because of the rays. Rias. Issei. She tries to touch him but. Issei. Me. I'm excited. He just pulled out the white aura from him as he shot out of the window of the mansion, flying towards the horizon, leaving all his girls in shock at the action. Rias. Issei. She could only watch as the Saiyan got further and further away. Erica. What's wrong? Ignia. He must have felt something and flew towards where his hunch indicated, is what I can suggest. Apparently his ability to perceive is more evolved than that of all of us. Akeno. But what exactly could she feel like flying away like that? Plus he didn't look worried, quite the opposite. Rias. There's only one way to find out. Let's go. This one creates a magic circle, while the other 3 also entered it. Now in another place, more precisely in a deserted place, a strange black hole opened out of nowhere, from which 4 legs came out. One of them speaks. 1. This is the place. It's a little different from our world. And that another speaks. 2. Hey, this sky is not the same as yours. 1. It's true, but the other half of his being is pure. Is getting closer. All 4 turned back looking at the sky as they saw something approaching, and when they saw it clearly, all 4 were left in total shock. Issei had arrived at the place with excitement in his veins, but everything took a 360-degree turn when he saw those responsible for the powers. He recognized 2 of them. The impact he felt at this moment was something that could not be described. And this increased when seeing the first person. Issei. What? This is impossible. He couldn't believe the person he was seeing. Greg. Partner. This was in the same situation as the carrier of him. 1. But what? I am dreaming. He didn't believe what he saw. 2. But what the hell? Goku? Who are you? Issei. Dreg. This is impossible. Chapter 10. The arrival of Son Goku. From another timeline. Dragon Ball Super Dimension. Goku and Vegeta with Mr. Beerus and Whis to Earth after a long day of training on the planet of the Destroyer God. Note. Goku and the others were traveling the way Wisconsin takes Beerus to Earth. Beerus grabbed Wisconsin's shoulder, while Vegeta went behind the Egyptian cat, and Goku asked, let's continue. Goku? Ugh, this is a great day of training, don't you think, Vegeta? This one grabbed his back. Vegeta. MHP, this is one of the few occasions in which I agree with you, especially because of the new power we have just obtained, he said, smiling proudly while he saw his fist. Goku. There's no doubt about that, he said it while he imitated the action of his friend rival. Beerus. MPH, there is no doubt that the Saiyans are made for combat, in so little they have progressed a lot, and I thought that they would not achieve much, he said it while looking askance at the warriors behind him. Whis. Ho, but they still have a long way to go. This is just a part of what they can achieve if they try harder, he said it while he laughed elegantly. Beerus. But remember, this isn't free, that's why we took them to Earth, to collect pay for today's training. What will Bulma have to eat this time? He said it while he imagined a delicious feast from planet Earth. Goku. It's true, I'm starving too, he said it while his stomach began to growl. Vegeta just kept his eyes closed, but his stomach also started growling, which embarrassed him a little, but he didn't say anything. Goku. Hey Mr. Whis, I wonder, every time you come with Mr. Beerus to Earth like this, all space turns white, is it because they are going at the speed of light? I asked this a little curiously. Whis. Not exactly, what you see now in white is not space seen at the speed of light, it is just a dimensional tunnel, he said calmly, confusing the Saiyan, but drawing the curiosity of the Saiyan prince. Vegeta. Dimensional tunnel. It's like time travel. Bills. Not exactly, traveling in time is like running in a straight line either forward or backward, while traveling between dimensions is like getting out of line and running randomly, because you should know that not only our dimension predominates, there are also other worlds with powers very different from ours that exist outside our jurisdiction, those are the dimensions, he said, leaving Vegeta stunned but Goku even more stupid. XD Whis, show them. Whis nods while snapping his fingers, and in front of Goku and Vegeta small screens are shown showing the different dimensions that the destroyer god mentioned. In one you can see a man with armor covering his entire body that protected a girl with purple hair, in another you see a blonde boy dressed in orange fighting against an immense fox in a very dark place. In another you see a group of humans fighting against some immense gigantic beings that were much larger than a building. Seeing those different worlds left both Goku and Vegeta speechless. In that another screen is seen, which caught Goku's attention. Goku. Oh look, that's me, but why am I hurt? Said this curious man while Vegeta became curious. On the screen you can see a very injured Goku on his knees. Goku? Why? Why do you do this to me? If I always fight for the good of the earth. Whis. It's better that you don't see this, Goku, he said Whis to snap his fingers and make that screen disappear. Goku? Huh. But why? I was curious, he said discouraged. Beerus. There are things that are better not to know, he said without looking at him. Vegeta. That world gave me a bad feeling, he said this very seriously, but I let it go. Goku. Anyway, the dimensions are great, I would like to know if the subjects of those worlds will be strong, he said with great interest, while he smiled sideways. Whis. But what is this? He said, stopping suddenly, causing the three behind him to hit their heads. Beerus. Hey Whis, why do you stop like this? Said this annoyed while the Saiyans rubbed the mate. Whis. Mr. Beerus, look at this, he said to show you a screen where you can see a brown boy training with a red glove. Goku and Vegeta also watched out of curiosity. Beerus. I only see a human from another dimension training, and what does he have? He said even more annoyed. Whis. Observe very carefully what will happen next, and so will you too, he said, referring to Goku and Vegeta. At that, the three see how a black hole opens in front of the brown boy from which the capsule and the image of Bulma come out. Goku. Wait, is that Bulma? He looks much older, he said impressed. Vegeta felt the same, this was confusing. That's when they see Bulma's hologram talking to the brunette, and as it is he informs him that he is the one chosen as Son Goku's heir, so he would also receive all of Goku's powers, leaving the three with a lump in their throat. So they also saw how the syringe jumped on his arm, just as they saw how the days went by, and the changes in the chestnut tree were beginning to be noticed. The Saiyans and the purple cat were with their mouths open. Goku? What? My heir? But I don't remember talking about that with Bulma, he said very confused. Vegeta. That was nanotechnology, he said, remembering the scene with the syringe. The cells are molded little by little in the blood of the person who was injected, causing them to undergo the change in appearance in a matter of a few days, just as they receive the powers. But. How dare Bulma do that? How dare she offer the unlimited power of the Saiyans to a simple earthling? It's unforgivable. He was angry, he felt inside that part of the Saiyan pride was broken, because a human receives the power of the most powerful warrior race in the universe. Goku. Come on, calm down Vegeta, surely there is an explanation for all this, he said, trying to calm down his rival. Vegeta. You shut your mouth Kakarot anyway, why didn't Bulma choose me for that and she chose Kakarot? He said even more angrily. Beerus. Ha, the answer is clear. Your enormous pride as a warrior would not allow you to share your power to offer it to a human. Surely you have flatly refused, and Bulma, surrendered, decided to opt for Goku, for which he would not have refused, he said with his arms crossed. Vegeta alone, he looked away angrily since he was right. His pride would not have allowed him to share his power with a simple human. This can only lead to one question after seeing all this, he said, making the three see it, that what Bulma did will happen in the near future, that is due to the age she may be in that video, or maybe that Bulma what we saw is from an alternative timeline, he said, making the three look thoughtful. Oh look, the image continues. The three of them pay attention when they see how the brunette gets a little angry, causing the cell adaptation process to accelerate due to this release of power, instantly acquiring the appearance of Goku, leaving the aforementioned with a wooden face, and Vegeta with a lump in his throat from what he saw. Beerus and Whis remained calm but serious. Goku? Wow, he now looks like me, he said, this totally amazed. Vegeta. That brat did a stupid thing by not containing his anger, after unconsciously releasing all that power that he barely knew. It could have caused him to fly to pieces if he had not controlled the energy, although he would have preferred that Earthling does not deserve the power of the Saiyans. Whis. Whatever one thing is for sure, Bulma dared to interfere with space-time, and that is a very delicate thing, she said, this time with a frown. Beerus. It looks like it's going to continue, he said, looking at the screen. And that they see how the new Saiyan with his dragon saw all the memories of Goku's battles, from childhood to the battle against Majin Buu, which left them totally impressed, but in that strange way the image was distorted until it reached the finished fight against Buu, and they couldn't see beyond that, which made the four of them a little strange. After a while the image is restored, showing the boy interacting with the dragon inside, giving him the idea of how get Goku's powers faster. This is how he gradually acquired the forms of the Super Saiyan, leaving everyone stunned. Goku? Hey, wait a minute, it took me a lot to achieve all those powers, and it only took him one day. It doesn't seem fair to me, he said, crossing his arms while frowning and pouting, but the other thing was strange. Why couldn't we see beyond the fight against Majin Buu? Vegeta. Everything seems to indicate that he still has the Saiyan ability to become stronger. The Earthling took advantage of the ability, he said, looking seriously at the image, and with Buu I also have that doubt, because it was not shown what happened after that. In that, everyone sees how the image is cut until the moment where the boy reaches phase 3, from there no more of that is seen. Goku? So fast. And in a single day. That's cheating. Vegeta. That brat, he said angrily, seeing how the boy gets the powers so quickly. Whis. It seems that up to that point you can see the transmission, he said to close the screen. Goku? Apparently he's my age when I faced Piccolo in the martial arts tournament. Will he be strong? I got curious. Vegeta. I'm not interested in that nonsense, I want to beat up that brat for stealing the power of the Saiyans. Whis. So, do you want to go? He said, making the Saiyans look at him in surprise. Beerus. Well, I also got curious. Let's go. Whis. Yes, he raises his staff, which emanates a great shine, causing a black hole to open in front of those present, leaving them impressed. Let's enter. This portal will take us to the world where that boy is. Goku. Great, I want to see how strong that boy is, he said, starting to get excited. Vegeta. The good thing about this is that I will be able to beat the face of that Earthling who now looks like yours. I will show him how to use the true power of the Saiyans, he said, smiling sideways. At that, everyone enters the portal. After 10 seconds they come out, appearing in a large greenish empty field. Goku? This is the place. It looks a lot like the Earth, he said, observing the entire place. Vegeta. Don't be an idiot, it's the Earth, but the dimension of that Earthling. Beerus. Fence coming out of the portal. I wonder if the food in this dimension will be good. Whis. Attention, someone is approaching, he said, looking at the sky. Goku. The Kai is approaching. Vegeta. It must be him. And in that, you can see someone approaching at great speed in the distance. When they finally arrive, staying in the air, the four of them could see how the boy's face began to show shock from seeing Goku and Vegeta in front of him, but more from seeing Goku. Then they saw how a red gauntlet appeared on the left arm of the boy in red. Beerus. This is going to get fun, he said as he crossed his arms and showed a smile. I want what abilities does that boy have with Goku's body? Whis. It's clear that this will end in a fight, Yajoho, he laughed elegantly. So you only hear one thing from the boy dressed in red who was still in the air. Issei Dreg. This is impossible. That's it for the chapter, my faithful ones. In the next chapter we will see the great battle, predecessor versus predecessor. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown in left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.